Hello and welcome back to episode 3. Thank you for joining me in my immigration series where I share my experiences of moving to Canada. Before we dive into the nitty gritty of my journey, let's take a moment to appreciate the marvel that is our brain. We store information about our surroundings and navigate them on footpaths like second nature. It's as if our brains have a built in GPS that runs on autopilot. I never realized this until I moved to Canada and found myself struggling to navigate to my new surroundings. As an Indian, I never had to think twice before taking a free left or walking on a footpath. And even if I got lost, I knew I could find my way back home. But in Canada, things were different. The crossroads were confusing and everything seemed to be named after directions. Why can't they just name it after a famous landmark like we do in India? But that's not all. There are bus stops with the same name but with different avenues or directions. Trust me, if you're not good with directions like me, then consider this your fair warning. Despite relying on Google Maps, I can't even count the number of times I've caught the wrong bus. I remember this one particular night when I left my workplace, tired and ready to snuggle into my bed. It was 10 pm, and I had been standing and serving guests for hours. If you don't know what I mean, you can check out my episode number 2. I got on the bus, and the journey was supposed to take just 1 hour, but it ended up taking me 2.5 hours. You might be wondering what happened. Well, let me tell you. To get to my home, I had to change 3 buses, and sometimes I had to walk a couple of minutes to the next bus stop. After getting off my first bus, I got a little confused because Google Maps sometimes shows the opposite direction or the calibration of my cell phone isn't proper. For whatever reason, I ended up getting on a different bus but with the same number. That meant I was traveling the different direction. And because the intersection names are so confusing and I lack understanding of east, west, north, south, I successfully got on another wrong bus. That experience left me bewildered and questioning the very basics of navigation. Why is Canada so obsessed with directions and avenues? It turns out there's a scientific reason for it. Naming streets and avenues according to their cardinal directions is a common practice in urban planning. It helps people to orient themselves and find their way around a city more easily. By assigning numbers to streets and avenues, it also allows for a grid system that simplifies navigation even further. This system has proven to be so effective that it has been adopted in cities around the world. However, for someone like me who grew up in a place where streets are named after famous people or landmarks, the transition to Canada was a little overwhelming. I often found myself lost and confused, taking wrong turns and catching the wrong buses. But in hindsight, it was all part of the adventure of starting a new life in a new country. Anyway, continuing my story, after 2 stops, I realized I'm on a different route. So I got down at the next bus stop, feeling like a lost penguin in a sea of polar bears. Plus, it's November, and the cold, chilly winds have begun in Canada, so I'm practically shivering like a chihuahua in a snowstorm. Now, as I get down at the bus stop and I'm walking to my correct bus stop, I have to cross the signal. While I am at the signal, I see my correct bus there and I go up and walk up to it. But the driver doesn't open the door. He waves me to come near the stop, like a secret agent trying to communicate without being caught. His signal turns green before mine, so I can't cross my road, and he doesn't even wait at the stop. He just took off. Having grown up in India, where buses don't have doors and boarding is more like a thrill ride than a disciplined process, I found myself standing in the chilly Canadian weather at 11 pm at the correct bus stop only to watch the driver take off without me. I was filled with frustration and longing for the conveniences of India. Instead, in Canada, I was faced with expensive reality of booking an Uber which costed twice as much as I wanted to spend for the night. Well, it's not the same for everyone for sure. My husband has been here a month and he's already a pro at maps and bus routes, and I don't even know how. He has shared a trick with me that has made a significant difference in my navigation skills. The trick is to always remember that in Canada, streets are often named based on their direction. For example, Streets that run east west are usually called avenues, while streets that run north south are often called streets. Remembering this can make it easier to find your way around and figure out which direction you need to go in. However, in my quest to improve my navigation skills, I had stopped listening to music while traveling, thinking it would distract me from my directions. I had also stopped listening to music at home or any other time. This had added to my loneliness and the start of what it felt like depression. I had underestimated the healing power of music and forgotten how it has the power to lift you up and carry you across the ocean of sadness and loneliness. But as it is often said, lost things have a way of finding their way back to you. A few days after, I was going through my archives and I discovered Lucky Ali's video. In May 22, my friends and I attended Lucky Ali's live concert in Pune, India, and what a memorable experience it was. For those who don't know, Lucky Ali is a renowned Indian singer and songwriter. Lucky Ali, in my opinion, is the most humble person in the music industry. The way he enjoys music and gives equal acknowledgement to every person in his team is just inspiring. During the concert, we were moved to tears by almost all of his songs. Sometimes it was the lyrics that hit us, other times it was the flute, guitar, or drums. The entire performance was just magical and it left a lasting impression on me. And then I searched for Lucky Ali's live recordings on YouTube. It became my chant for almost every day for a month. I was breathing the music and doing everything while listening to it, even doing kitchen work at my workplace with one earphone in. It made it easier for me to breathe, and every moment that went by didn't feel so hard and difficult. I guess it was an escape for my mind at least. That's when I went back to my motivational list of music. Every mood has a particular sound to it, and listening to a particular song also has the power to change your mood. For me, words hold great power, and I'm more of a lyric person. I'm attuned to listening to music that has good lyrics or deep philosophical meaning to it. Just like life's most obvious things, it's essential to cherish and appreciate music's simplest things too. If you already have a go to list of music that pumps you up or motivates you, hold on to it. It can work wonders for your mental health. But if you don't, you can start with my list and see how you feel. Or you can create your own list as you go. The point is, music can be your best friend and a way of expression when nothing else is. Music has the ability to understand the exact feeling you are going through, even if you can't put a finger on it or explain to it to someone. Sometimes you just need a shoulder to lean on, and music can do that for you too if you allow it. It can be your escape from stress and anxiety and even help alleviate depression. So take some time to create a playlist of songs that resonate with you and have a positive impact on your mood and mental well-being. Trust me, it's worth it. As a lyric fan, I'll share some of the particular lyrics that resonated with me the most. Lucky Ali's Kitni Hasi Zindagi Hai Ye and O Sanam always hit the right notes for me. Ishq Bina from the movie Tal, Rabbi Shergil's Tere Bin, and Jaane Kya Dhoonta Hai by Lucky Ali are also on my list. The evergreen Yu Hi Chala Chal Rahi from Swades, Allah Ke Bande and Pataka Guddi never fail to lift my spirits. Ye Dil from the movie Pardes and Ae Khuda by Mithun are beautiful and soulful compositions. Lastly, Nadan Parinde from Rockstar is a personal favorite as it speaks about the journey of light and the pursuit of our dreams. Okay folks, that's all from my side. We have come to the end of this musical journey and I hope it has helped you in some way or the other. I must admit that these are just one or two genres of music that I have shared with you guys. I have many more saved like spiritual, Sufi and others. However, these songs really helped me and I wanted to share them with you. In the end, whether it's a road trip or the journey of life, navigation and music are two sides of the same coin. They help us find our way wherever we may be headed. So turn up the music, let the rhythm guide you, and trust that with every note, you're one step closer to your destination. And yes, life is beautiful, and music makes it even more beautiful. So keep singing, keep dancing, and most importantly, keep loving. As Lucky Ali once said, जिंदगी से डरते हो, जिंदगी पे मरते हो, जिंदगी खुद एक मौज है, तो तूफान से क्यों डरते हो? Love and light. Sidhi Desai.